I have friends that are on drugs. I have friends that are strung out, and they're not the same. They're not who they used to be. It hurts to see them like that. It hurts to know that they're in a situation that I can't help them in. And these are good people. These are very good-hearted, good-natured, respectable people. And the decisions that they've made, or decisions, put them on a path where they're ruined. And there's nothing most of us can do or say to help them out of that. So all we can do at a certain point is remove ourselves from them, because either it hurts too much to see them just, go down the hill, or it's really unsafe to be around them. And it hurts. Now the thing is, a lot of people are dealing with things that they don't understand, and we may not even realize, and it leads them to make decisions that can cost them their lives and cost them who they are and who they were meant to be. And this again is mental fitness. It's a form of mental illness. You take your depression and you don't have an outlet for it. You don't know what to do. You're hurting. People may not know. You're projecting something on the outside that doesn't show that you're suffering. So you turn to alcohol, you turn to drugs, you engage in reckless behavior, and you go downhill. And a lot of times the people around you, they don't know you have an issue. Sometimes we see that people have issues, but we don't take it that serious. Sometimes we don't know what to do. And it hurts, and it's sad. And I know a few people that's pulled themselves out of it. And the crazy thing is, even those people, there's nothing that they can tell the other person. Because you have to want to do it. You have to understand for yourself. You have to want to be different. You have to want to change. You have to recognize that something isn't right and you need help. Then once you recognize that you need that help, you have to seek it out and you have to follow through. It's a lot. And you have to find some way to confront your demons and to overcome your demons. And it's a lot. And a lot of us, just to be able to help somebody, we don't have the time, we don't have the energy, we don't have the patience. A lot of times we just don't understand. We can't relate. Some of us can relate, but we're afraid to admit that we can relate, because we're afraid to admit that we have our own demons that we fight, because we want to seem like we're better, or we're stronger, or we're not insecure, we don't have issues, but we do. And a lot of times we'll sit there and we'll watch somebody that we love go downhill because we're too prideful to be able to put ourselves on their level and relate to them and say, I understand, I know, I've been through it. Or maybe I didn't go through exactly what you went through, but I've been through similar things and I have an understanding. Let me at least attempt to try to help you, at least try to attempt to get through to you. For different reasons, we don't always do that. And then for the ones of us that do, we realize that we can't help them. The person has to want the help. The person has to understand that there's something wrong. So oftentimes, as painful as it is, we have to just disassociate ourselves from them and watch them go downhill and hope that they pull themselves out of it, hope that they get some sort of help that we can't give them. I used to, and I still do, I would always look at homeless people or people that were strung out on drugs, people that had mental illness, and we look at them and say that they're crazy, they're running around. I would see these people and I would always wonder to myself, who was this person? Who is this person? Because a lot of times we see these people, we don't realize that they're in a situation that they really probably have no control over. They probably didn't put themselves in this situation. Maybe it was something that happened to them. Maybe it's something that they was born with. Maybe they did put themselves in this situation, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't their intent. People use drugs, people do things to a lot of times, not always, but they do it to deal with issues, to fight the pain, to cope. They don't want to get strung out. They don't want to lose their mind. They don't want to be homeless. They don't want to be, looked at a certain way. But they lose control over the situation. Things happen. So I look at people and I always wonder, who was this person? Because every time you see somebody, you have to understand they was once a little kid. They was once a baby. They had family. They had friends. They maneuvered and did the same things me and you did. So when they was kids, they rode bikes, they played, they had, they did normal things. They had a life and a personality and probably boyfriends, girlfriends and cars, and they had things before they ended up in that position. But we don't see that. We don't consider that. A lot of these people you probably think are crazy or insane or they're a lot of these people are smart. A lot of these people are highly intelligent. A lot of these people have extraordinary experiences, whether good or bad. I think we have to find a better way to understand what other people are going through. Because being in the fitness world, being healthy, being in the gym, we're still dealing with emotional issues that can, if we make the wrong decision, we can end up on the wrong path. We can be just like the people that we, for the most part, look down on. We can be that person that we say is crazy or they're homeless or that they're strung out on drugs, or we can be that person in the blink of an eye. You can get in a car accident. You can have something fall. I can be right here in this park and a tree branch could fall on my head and I can never be the same. But we don't think like that. We don't look at it from that aspect, because a lot of times also we look at ourselves as we're special, we're different, when we're not. We're not special. We're not any different from the next person. We're all the same. And for the most part, we have a lot of the same experiences. Sometimes we just deal with things differently, so the outcomes are different. Sometimes we just got lucky. Sometimes we just get lucky. Some of us has been in those situations and pulled ourselves out of it. Some of us that's watching this video right now are going to end up in those situations. Most of us know somebody that's in those situations. And we're afraid a lot of times, or so consumed with our own lives, our own whatever, to even care a whole lot, or to show concern, or to step in and really try to help. Really try to understand someone else's circumstances, someone else's situation. We're too quick to look down on people. And that in itself is a form of sickness, because if you can't be compassionate, if you can't step back and just try to understand someone else's perspective, then it says a lot about the health of your mind. If you're too busy trying to show that you're better than somebody, it's usually some sort of insecurity within you, that you can't humble yourself a little bit to put yourself on their level just to show some compassion. Think about it. Now, if you do those things, or you can't do those things, and you can't show that type of compassion to your loved ones, people that you're friends with, your neighbors, your surrounding community, it's a problem, because all of these things affect us, whether you realize it or not. So generally, most of us only care about our immediate circle, our kids, our family, and then it slowly extends. And as you go further out, you care less and less. But think about it. We all have to be on point all the way around for the benefit and the support of our family. That's usually our first priority. A lot of times we neglect ourselves in that process, but I'm not going to get into that. Now, first is your friends. First is your family, then it's your friends, then it's your extended friends. Then when it gets into the community now, we don't know our community most of the times. We don't know our neighbors. We see our neighbors struggling with things and going through things, and we just step back and watch. We just step back and just look out our windows, just watch, and just watch. And we observe. And we say, whoa, they're messed up. That's crazy. And we laugh about it, we joke about it, but we don't say, maybe I can help them in some way. A lot of us don't practice conflict resolution enough. And what I mean by that is most of us don't take the time to get involved, even if it's a small way. We'll watch something happen and we'll just sit there and be spectators. And I feel like if you're a spectator, if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Now, most of us say, well, I don't know these people, so I'm gonna mind my business. And if I try to help them, they'll probably curse me out, or because they're gonna be like, get out of my business, mind your business. But we'll watch somebody destroy themselves. We'll watch somebody go downhill, and we won't do anything about it. We'll watch our friends and family go downhill, and we won't do anything. But when they hit rock bottom, when they're messed up, we'll say, damn, I should have did something. You wait till they're messed up, or you wait till they're sick, or you wait till they're dead. And then you feel hurt, you feel bad, and you say, I should have did something, I should have said something. We got to stop doing that.